Gray Trials is officially a year old. We started production in the spring of 2022, and here we are in the spring of 2023, and we're 4 episodes in. Originally, that was going to be our finish line. We were only going to do 4 episodes, but when Chapter 2 released in the fall, we realized, you know what, I think we need to spend more time on this series and really draw out some of these storylines in order to effectively bring it home thematically. So we redrafted the series after Chapter 2 wrapped and decided to make 7 episodes.
For co-directing itself, it's a lot of just going through the script and finding out the motivations of each character. But we have such good actors to where, like, me and Mr. Parenti kind of just sit there and we're like, that's exactly what we wanted. We have nothing to say. We have no notes. Like, they just read the script and they get it.
We contract professional actors for the adult roles, and then for any of the kid roles, we use our own students, our own very talented students who oftentimes come to us from the theater department.
Our theater director came to me and told me that Studio 7D was doing a Star Wars film, and he told me that I needed to audition, and I said no, because I knew absolutely nothing about Star Wars.
When Olivia came in, I could tell right away there was something really special about her, and when she did her first reading, I think we were all really, really enchanted.
Looking back on it, I completely came into it in my theater mode, which was probably a bad idea.
Hi, my name is Olivia Bass, and I'm in 10th grade. I know the code is the heart of the Sith and all, but I don't get it. We say peace is a lie, there's only passion. Then what's the point of the war?
There is a huge difference between acting for theater and acting for film, which I had absolutely no clue until I walked in the audition room and Mr. Parenti said, tone it down a little bit and try it again.
I think I said it much nicer than that. I just invited her to try the same take, but a little more subtle.
So any motion in the eyes, any swaying is going to be super big.
Okay. I know the code is the heart of the Sith and all, but I don't get it. We say peace is a lie, there's only passion. Then what's the point of the war? So, you from this world? Seems like a pretty crummy place to grow up. I mean, I'm sure it has some nice spots, away from the lava and all.
And she did it. I mean, immediately took the direction well, and at that moment I knew she could be a film star.
I don't know, it's very more like subtle movements and less like larger than life, but it is definitely really fun to still do.
So Liv actually came up to me and asked if I would be interested in being in the next episode, and I thought it sounded really cool, and I'd never really done a lot of film acting at all. I'd always done stuff on stage, so I thought it would be really cool to try something different.
It's amazing for them to have chemistry on screen based on their friendship off screen. I mean, they're experiencing these scenes together because in real life they do care about each other. They're great friends.
My favorite part is definitely all the fight scenes. They're so fun to do, although I do get a little beat up most of the time, but that's okay, because they're fun, and if it looks good, might as well.
But it requires a lot of imagination, because obviously we don't have like real blasters or like real lightsabers, so I think it's really cool. You're just like playing pretend fighting, but like it's gonna look real. So it's like whenever you're a kid and you get to play with all that stuff, but you actually get to see it on film later.
Episode 4 is really special for many reasons, one of which is that we were shooting on location. For the first time in Gray Trials, we moved out of the studio and into our local environments.
I was super excited about going back to Riverbend. I was part of the crew that went down the river in that famous catastrophe during Fountain of the Youth. And I remember when we were down there, we saw these weird, like, out of the floor, like, roots, and it literally looked like Endor from Star Wars. Like, it was so surreal and weird, and I was like, we need to film a Star Wars film here. We did get to use some really fun cameos from Fountain of Youth, like where the fountain was for the tree, where we shot the Giacomo Tonti in the woods scene where they're having a conversation by a log.
You know, in the studio, sometimes we're limited to tighter shots, but when we're out in, nature, in beautiful nature, there's nothing to hide. We're back at Riverbend Park. It's been almost 2 years since we came here to film The Fountain of Youth. So I wore my shirt to be full of spirit. Fun fact, where we're filming this scene right now, is actually where Giacomo Tanti's campfire was in the Fountain of Youth, but it's been overgrown since then, so convenient. Yeah, it's pretty weird being back, especially when it's kind of cool. We're not sweating to death and getting destroyed by bugs or rain. Fingers crossed. Truly, God bless Ruby Freeman. If she was not a part of this project, I don't know what we would have done. I just thought it was a great idea to have a Wookiee character. We would just buy a costume and then be done with it. I had no idea there would be so many issues.
We got 2 masks because we thought surely having a backup will solve this problem, and both of them were terrible. Like, they were both just horrifying, and we knew we couldn't put them on screen, so we had to kind of improvise.
The first thing we realized we had to do was go to the engineering lab and print out a skull that would add shape to the Wookiee's face. Otherwise, it just looks like a human face, with a rubber mask on it.
I took a box cutter to the original mask, and I had to rip off basically pieces of its face to glue onto the skull. So you could kind of remove the face part of the mask, and that kept falling off because there was no real way to add like a good elastic to it. So you had to have someone like on it at all times to like brush it and make it look covered and cover the plastic parts. And then he had a scuba mask underneath, which is like insulated and everything, to then have fur on top, to then have a 3D printed thing, which has like leftover fumes. Because I would take it off whenever we could, just to like let him breathe a little bit. But he was like, yeah, no, it's great. And I was like, how are you doing this? Like, it was exhausting, I'm sure.
I definitely want to pursue theater and film, and this has totally like kickstarted that whole new path for film for me. I like really enjoy doing this almost just as much as I do theater. So definitely in the future, I would love to just stay on this path and kind of pursue it.
You want to see something really cool?
Yeah.
Wait, hold this really quick. I'm gonna take my glove off.
No.
And then we're just gonna.
Oh, dog.
He just took off his glove and it's dripping.
Well, this was not so bad, but
It was like a fountain.
it's pretty hot.
Oh my gosh, that's the grossest thing I've ever seen.